Got 12 wallets, but Solana ain't one. Cardano's my main, where the real gains come from. Stacking that ADA, I'm ahead of the pack. Crypto king moves, yeah, I'm never looking back. Started with a vision, now I'm deep in the game. Cardano's my fortress, ADA's my flame. Solana's out there, but I'm not impressed. Smart contracts on Cardano, I'm truly blessed. 12 wallets loaded, yeah, I'm diversified. Crypto life's a hustle and I'm fully energized. Wallet chase a hype, I'm staking my way. Cardano's the truth, I'm here to stay. Yeah, got 12 wallets, but Solana ain't one. Cardano's my main, where the real gains come from. Stacking that ADA, I'm ahead of the pack. Crypto king moves, yeah, I'm never looking back. Solana's got speed, but it trips and it falls. Cardano's my rock, answering all my calls. Wallets on wallets, but I'm picky with chains. Solana's uninvited, I'm dodging the flames. Eight in my veins, I'm a blockchain believer. Building my empire, no room for a fever. Steady with the gains, watch my profits ignite. Cardano's my vision, I'm owning the night. Yeah. So if you're on
GM.
Yo, GM, everybody. Thanks for coming. A second here. Did we send the live stream in the Discord? Let's check this out.
Think so. Yeah, I could tag folks. I can't tag everyone in Sneckies yet, but Sneckies fam, welcome to join. I know separate community, separate vibes, but always here for you guys. We got Opti. What are you drinking this morning, Opti?
Well, today it's the usual, just the coffee. Where's the stream? Okay, here. Yeah, it's just a really dark coffee, like any real man should have it, and then that's it.
Thumbs down. I'm gonna shout out anyone you visit Kansas City Roastery. Fucking love that place. Grabbed coffee with a buddy this morning, so I'm rocking my Roastery. They're good, man. If you ever visit Opti, I'll take you there. They're like main place where they like brew and they have these it's crazy. Like you can get these tours of this factory where they have the massive whole bean bags that they get in and they show you how they roast it. But what's really cool about it is they actually have like an old beat up, like it almost looks like a B-52 bomber, like on top of their coffee roaster. It's pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's dope. All right, man. How's your week been? What's your week looking like? Market's green, market's red, market's green.
It's a roller coaster. I posted a Tang with a green background and then shortly after a red background.
Dude, it's fucking nuts, man.
It's really crazy how one man's word can affect the markets that much. It's crazy.
I mean, presidents have always been able to shape markets, but this is a whole other level. Like, and seeing what was going on with the call options when they were, I don't know if you saw that, but like he said, like now's a great time to buy, and then like massive load up on like short dated call. I mean, it's fucking wild, man. Can't trade this shit. It's just nuts.
Wait, so you're playing with those like option thingies?
I'm not really. I play a little bit, like, because I think the thesis, and when I say I play a little bit, like it's really not much money. But the thesis around like, and actually Viva has been one talking about it too. Not that he's giving you advice, but like there's a whole thesis around how like we're restructuring the market to be more gold and commodities focused, and Bitcoin will do better longer term because it's not as tied to the dollar intrinsically, and the dollar's weakening because of decoupling of our markets and Chinese markets. I don't know. It's like, it's kind of an interesting theory. So I dabble a little bit in like long dated options, but honestly, I mostly just get wrecked. Hey, what's up, Donnie? GM, sweet omen. I love it.
I would absolutely get wrecked. That's why I don't really do trading, even like outside of crypto, and even in crypto, I don't do much trading, recently. But outside of that, I don't touch anything. I just, yeah.
I get fucking wrecked all the time. I made one good trade during the pandemic on Rocket Mortgage before that thing blew up. And then I promptly took all the gains from that and I fucking pissed them away. It was ridiculous. So
have you ever played leverage?
What's that?
Have you ever played with leverage, like
No,
using
I'm
your
so
stock?
scared of leverage. Yeah, I don't understand. Like people who do like 100x longs or perps or whatever, I'm so fucking scared of that. Do you?
I did that once with some stocks. Like I had a ton of Apple stock, and I was like, yeah, I was on Robinhood. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna borrow like 5K and put it into some software giant or whatever, and it turned out okay. But that was like, it gets you sweating for days on end. It's not a good idea. It's
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's the thing is like you got a day job, you got a crypto night job building. I mean, like, just I don't have the time like to sweat about that. It would make me way too nervous. So, I don't know if you want to say this on stream, by the way, though. I think there was a boy who had a birthday this week. Happy birthday!
Oh yeah. That was
Happy
me.
birthday, Opti!
I did
Woo!
30. I didn't know until my mom organized the party. I didn't know that turning 30 was such a big deal because they just decided to shower with me with a bunch of gifts and money, and I'm like, damn, I'm not that broke. I mean, I'm kind of broke, but not that broke.
I mean, I'm in crypto, but I'm not that broke. Let's see. What did I even do for 30? I mean, I had kids, though. I already had 2 kids by the time I was 30. So I was probably taking care of my kids. And
I see.
oh, no, it was COVID. It was COVID when I turned 30. So I got that's what happened.
So it wasn't that long ago then, huh? Like what, 5 years ago, 6?
I'm in my early 30s.
Okay.
What's that? Yeah, I'm in my early 30s. I'm not that much older. So
Okay. Yeah.
Old man vibes.
Yeah, no, my dad was taking care of me and my 2 siblings at 30. I was like, Jesus.
That's wild. Taking care of 3 under 30. I mean, I know people who are like 35, 36, and they're having their first kid. I'm like kind of jealous. Like I had kids. I mean, I love my kids. Don't get me wrong. And I had kids in my 20s, but like they've had their whole 20s free. 30. I mean, it's great. You get to have some time to yourself, So, well, happy birthday, old man. Congratulations on turning 30. I'm sorry you're poor and in crypto, but thinking of you.
Sounds good. So I think we can get started here. But if you're in this space, or sorry, if you're in this live stream, just do us a favor and repost, share with a friend. We're going to talk about a few things today. It's going to be a bit shorter than last week. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, you're free, or feel free to drop it in the comments, and I guess we'll get going.
Yeah, love to hear from you guys. And we can go as long as people need for sure. But yeah, honestly, one thing I'll just start off with, like before we get into your questions, Opti, because we have a good topic to talk about. But like, let me kick it off with the ALEO mining. People are getting paid every day. It's pretty wild, man. So one thing coming here on this stream is like, I want to be here for you guys. Opti is obviously doing an amazing job managing the community, engaging you guys, but you're getting paid every day if you're mining ALEO, right? You're getting paid every day if you're mining Bitcoin or Litecoin or whatever. My intention is for you guys to engage as you want, but not stress about a roadmap. So like, I'm just really excited for that. People are getting paid ALEO and it's going up. That's even better. I mean, I don't know how that coin's going to do, obviously, but like if I look now, right, and I look at my most real time, I just refreshed the page, I'm seeing ALEO slots that are making 70, 80 cents and beating Bitcoin and Dogecoin. So I'm just super thrilled that worked out. For all of you who signed up for ALEO, you should be seeing payouts. You're mining it. You own the compute. You're getting that reward. So yeah, I don't know if you have anything to add on that, Opti, but like I just want to like express how excited I am and how cool it is that I'm actually finally, 2 months into these ALEO configurations, seeing people get some serious pay.
So wait, you said it was 80 cents. Is that per day, or how is that?
That's per month per slot. So let's call that like, if you're making about $9 a year, Tangz were about 30, $40. So it's like a 30, 40% APR at the moment, even though the coins are all down. So pretty solid, including my margin. I'm happy with how it performed. And And honestly, the capital we invest in that, and like just to be a broken record, which I know you know this, Abdi, but just for people who aren't as familiar, right? Like a lot of the problems that miners get into are they think that the punch bowl will never get taken away. What I mean by that is like there's an old saying in economics, like the job of XYZ person is to take the punch bowl away at the party. They usually talk about the Fed with this. But like if you're a miner and you load up, this happened to, there was a company called, I think Scientific General or General Scientific or something. They loaded up on like $3 billion in debt. And they're like, you know what we're going to do, Opti? You think you're a cool miner, but what we're going to do is we're just going to massively stack racks. Okay. I'm going to buy every latest equipment. I'm going to air cool with like changeable stuff, blah, blah, blah. And the problem is you have these natural cycles. So what that means for us is like, as we start to allocate capital, it makes no sense to throw 1,000% of our effort into a brand new coin. But in case that's the next big thing, you do want to strategically allocate some capital to it. So the 15% or so of, it's a little bit less actually, like 12% of the capital we allocated to ALEO, the payback period on that is like, let's call it 9 months, 10 months. I mean, we're already in month 3, 4 of that. So it's great for our community. They're seeing rewards. The hardware is paying itself off. You know, even if the hardware depreciates pretty quickly, you can still have some value out of those machines. I just think it's a win-win to invest in these new coins on a small basis. I'm not looking at, we're not looking to scale up now. I think we're really well allocated and we have spare capacity if we need it. But yeah, I'm excited for that.
Awesome. Well, glad to hear it. Also GM Noan, thanks for coming in. We're gonna
GM Noan. Sorry, I didn't mean to talk over you, Noan.
No, there he is. We're gonna. So I suppose we can get into the question then. Should I read the whole thing, or is that fine?
Yeah. So this, why don't you set us up like where this came from and what you're thinking?
Yeah. So this the question I'm about to read, it came from the Sneckies Discord, and it's just based on the recent talk about the deal that's going on with Sneckies and taking over operations, right? So I'll read it here real quick. This is by the Trap House, I believe. It says, he said, correct me if I'm wrong, but let's say 1 year or 2 years along, the mining gets kind of slow. It's not doing great on the NFT market. And then you decide to completely change everything and you decide you want to go down a new path. Is that like possible? So that's kind of what he's asking, I guess. It was a little confusing for me. I don't know if you understood it, but I think. And then the next question he asked also is, you'll have control to turn a profit any way you want. So it's sort of, I suppose, a bit of an open question. So I think like I interpreted it as, do you have the ability to change, I guess, your plans down the line if mining doesn't work? I suppose you could.
Yeah. And again, I think it's totally a fair question. One of the philosophies I've had since I started. So I think like, frankly, just because I'm going to be totally honest and I'm going to call them irresponsible. I think there were a lot of founders, frankly, if I had to put a word on it, that were irresponsible. And I think they came to the community and said, oh my God, this NFT is an investment, right? Like you will make money. And that's never been Tang's philosophy. That's not even going to be our philosophy with Sneckies, which we could talk about what that Sneckies really is. But like, I think the bottom line is NFTs, as they've matured and kind of become their own entity or thing you're thinking about, they're an asset. So what's nice about that is, let's say you get a Pokemon trading card, right? You don't own any of the IP around the Pokemon brand, but you can use that specific trading card in certain ways. You can trade with it. You can sell one card from yourself to another person, right? To me, like that's what NFTs represent in this digital era. Is we've been for years, we've essentially been what you might call like a digital serf. Like if I go to Facebook, I don't have any ownership of that data. I don't have any rights over that data. But when you buy an NFT, you are buying an asset, right? It's like that Pokemon trading card. Now, why that becomes important to understand that as like an asset base is, to me, the Wild Tangz IP and the Snackies IP are much bigger concepts, right? Those are centralized IP, intellectual property, that are owned by companies. In Snecky's case, right now, it's owned by Snecky's Corporation, essentially, LLC. And then in Wild Tang's case, it's owned by Tangz LLC. And what I answered to that person is, Cardania's NFTs, those are your assets, but the IP behind Cardania is owned by Cardania. Nintendo Switch, you may buy a video game, but that NFT or that IP is owned by Nintendo, right? Those characters are owned by Nintendo. I think the nice thing about NFTs is if they can bring people into the ecosystem in a meaningful way, but then you can layer on and expand the IP, like that's really the promise of this technology. Pudgy Penguins has been incredible in doing this. Yuga obviously is like the 800-pound gorilla in the room. So that's basically how I answer that person, which is a long way of saying yes, because these brands are branded and owned by private entities and are not structured as DAOs, right? Then like you can choose to expand the brand. The subtext of that perhaps, and what I wanted to highlight, is that doesn't mean that we make 1 million NFTs and we dump more NFTs, right? Tangz has been very, very targeted. In 3 years, we've had 2 collections. That's it. The rest of the ones you've seen on JPEG Store are either free or were like holiday giveaways or one-of-ones for loyal holders. Like we've had 2 collections, right? And I think the problem that a lot of collections run into is they're not smart in how they allocate IP, so they just dilute the brand. So let's go back to that question. But I think the short answer is yes. In 2 to 3 years, you can pivot the brand in any sort of direction based on a very valuable IP. But it's incumbent upon you as an owner to not flood the zone and like destroy your brand and your trust in the community.
Cool. So yeah, if you guys had that question, I guess hopefully that was sufficient. And GM Smart, thanks for coming in. To all 20 listeners and eventually hundreds and thousands. But yeah, so thanks for answering that, Thad. I don't know if you had a follow up or not. I was gonna ask something else, but then I forgot. What tends to happen.
No, I'm happy to follow up. I do need to follow up with Smart, which is FUD the shit out of that project because fuck the Braves. I hate the Braves. The Braves are my nightmare because when I was a kid, the Yankees would play against Greg Maddux and fucking John Rocker would come and ride our subways and call us dirtbags. And I still have scarring memories of my childhood rooting against the Braves. But yeah. I love you, Smart. I'll forgive you. But yeah, I don't know if you have any more questions on that. I mean, talk to me about how you think about NFTs, right? Like, how do you think about the brands in the space? And like, be honest, right? Like, what are you seeing as you engage with the community? And you engage with a lot of communities. I know you have obviously done a lot of work with Hornies, right? Or
with Raggies, and then they took over Hornies, and yeah.
Right, Raggies and took over Hornies, and I know you do some work with Squirrel. So like, tell me about how you're seeing these brands in the space.
Yeah, initially I came in just for the flip. I mean, I didn't think of it as anything else, and then later that kind of got tiring. So recently, especially with the little Sappy that I have on Twitter, I like to just. Recently, I like to buy NFTs if I like it, and I actually haven't bought an NFT in a bit of time, except the one Tang I got just to demonstrate. But yeah, I just like to think of NFTs now as if I like it, I just buy it and I'll rep it, exactly how like I'm doing with the Lil Sappy. And now I don't know. I think that it's just if I see it that way, it's a lot more fun. It's less stressful. That's kind of how I see it. And as far as like an NFT as a token on the blockchain, I mean, it's very flexible. You can do almost anything with it. It just depends really on who's behind it is what gives it character. So that's kind of my brief thoughts on it.
Yeah, that's right. And I mean, we all love a good flip. Like we were talking earlier about the markets and obviously Trump with his calls on the market, but like, there shouldn't be brands coming out there and irresponsibly saying, oh, and now we're going to pump your bags. Like that's never been Tangz. Tangz is not an investment contract. Sneckies is not an investment contract. Even in its current form, it's not. I think like what's most powerful is, and I know you're in token projects, so I'd be curious, like, it's really hard for a token to build sustainable IP. I haven't seen it yet. I guess Dogecoin is probably the only one, but that's like so massive. Like, I think the nice thing about an NFT project is it provides a way to build real, like you said, like real intrinsic value around something you have an emotional attachment to. And then if you expand the character, if you add in mining rewards, if you add in free services like, hey, I've got this Nike sneaker and now I've got this NFT, and then I get an airdrop of some Nike coin to buy more sneakers. Like, I think that's like really a really cool flywheel. But I don't know if you feel the same way. Yeah.
I actually think, yeah, that like NFTs have more stickiness. You can, especially if you find the trait, like with me in the mushroom hat, I love my mushroom hat. So it has more stickiness. You can just, it's a character on its own if you want. And it's especially helpful, right? If the company or the artist or whatever has, it's really good if he gives you the IP rights as a holder of the NFT. So that way you can take it further if you want. But that's, I just think in general, NFTs have more stickiness.
Yeah, actually, I want to share my screen here at the risk of exposing my seed phrase or something. I'm sure I'll do that.
You have like $10 in there?
Yeah, exactly. So I've just got to shout out the Milkman. I mean, we just ended the collection, right? We've fully, and I believe in, again, I believe in paying artists. I believe in being above board. Let me present it. This guy is an IP powerhouse. Like, I see his dedication. I see his work. I see not only like in an age of AI, just like garbage, I see like his attention to detail and his attention to the craft and his ability to create really like novel characters. Like, I fucking love his happy people. So like, to me, having NFTs that could be a medium for someone like this to just like give us something, so beautiful, and really like so fucking cool and weird as these milk cartons. Like, I agree with you. Like, there's something emotionally connective about that when I'm just like buying and selling shit coins, like it doesn't have that same feel for me. So like, yeah, I'm with you on this, Opti. Like, I'm really bullish on the technology, not just for like, hey, we're going to make money and it's going to be a short-term flip, but like, is this a play for brands to expand? And by the way, more to come on that. I'm looking into a portion of the Snecky's deal. The LOI has been signed and we're now going through deep diligence. There's a potential for a partnership there with a group I'm really bullish on. So I just, I think there's stuff in the works in terms of this IPA expansion that could be really, really exciting.
Yeah, awesome. So yeah, and just in general, more stickiness with the NFTs. I mean, especially like, especially with, say, the Little Sabbies. In my case, I have a strong relationship with the founder, like the artist, and that's also kind of why I like these NFTs, because if you like the art, then you'll just fall in love with whoever created it, and then you create a relationship. It's just a lot. I mean, it's one of the reasons why I'm never selling that guy. And the same thing happened with Raggies, where I had the rarest one and I never sold it, and I became good friends with the founders. So.
Yeah, I splurged on a dead rabbit when I was, I splurged on a dead rabbit when it was at its peak, and it's a gold. It's beautiful. I think I've toyed around with like listing it for some obscene amount of money because, hey, if someone wants to pay me 20,008 or whatever, but I just love it. I have no regrets about that purchase. So I'm with you, man. I'm with you. But, for the Sneckies fam out there, if you're playing this back, right, the goal is not to buy this and dump a bunch of NFTs. Like I've said a million times, this is about really like solidifying this brand. And then, in a year or 2 or 3, if we have Wild Tangz over here and we have Sneckies over here and they're doing great and there's opportunity for expansion or rethinking the brands or like, how do they work together? Like, I'm all for that. But these private companies that own the IP, it's really incumbent on them to like be good stewards of that intellectual property.
You said, I remember you spoke about something similar in a space where you said, you wish that people in the crypto space would think more collaboratively, like as in creating, companies or brands that are not just singular, but they have multiple sort of names under them, and they each, solve a problem that the other can't. Would you like to expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, actually, and I think I was talking about, because I think the Bajewski Derp Mutants tie-up is a good example of kind of pieces of the puzzle that fit together. I mean, like Wild Tangz to me, and I'm biased, but I think we offer the best utility in the space, bar none, right? But I can fully admit we have no video games, right? Like I'm not a game designer, I'm not a game developer. So like if we have a couple pieces of IP and we see our customer base wanting to engage with a video game, is there a project out there we could partner with, acquire? In the industry, we'd call this build, buy, partner, right? Like, do we go to another company and say, hey, let's make 1 + 1 = 3? So like, we don't have any plans for that yet, but I think more NFT projects should decide to, rather than go it alone, like help build the ecosystem. Jelly Cubes, I think, is one that does this really well too. Like I'm really close to Jason, and he's really, the Jelly Pad, the Jelly Pod, like he's really become a launching point for other people. And in a way that it's not just like, oh, I'm going to pump out a new sale. He's really thinking about like how to deepen those ties in the ecosystem. So yeah, I really hope we see more of that, to be honest.
Having like a symbiotic relationship instead of,
yeah. I mean, everybody's good at something, right? Like we don't all need to be great at everything.
Yeah, no, you got to cooperate. Cool. That was the extent of that question. I was just really curious about your thoughts on that, because I kind of agree. There's people with different skill sets. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, we all, they believe in God or fate or whatever. We all got put here with something different we have to offer. So yeah, I mean, I'm really excited for that. Like one thing I've seen Smart do, actually, just to pick on him because I know he's in the chat. I've seen him really, really take some brands that I thought were very basically dead and do some good work with them, right? And be more realistic about what role they play, how do they fit into his ecosystem, what's the Smart brand, what's the sort of sub brand under it, right? And so he's taking his approach. And I really enjoy seeing someone like that operate, because I think it's, we talk a lot in the NFT space about the ideas we have, but like brand longevity, brand execution, coming back year after year and, innovating and staying on top of that space, it's really hard, man. It's really hard to have longevity. So a lot of admiration for people who are doing that.
Absolutely. And we got about 2 minutes left now in the live stream. If you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot them in the comment section. But otherwise, we'll close this down real soon. Thanks for coming. You got anything else for us, Dad?
No, man, I'm really happy with how the project is going. The nice thing for me, having automated it, is seeing everybody participate in their mining rewards, right? I mean, I think it's really easy to promise mining and being part of a mining pool. And I'm happy the SEC is starting to recognize these business models and everybody's being able to participate in decentralized finance. But I'm as bullish as ever. So just appreciate everyone in the community. And even if you root for the Braves, still appreciate you.
That's good. Cool. Well, I think we can kill it here. Thanks for coming, guys. We'll see you in the next live stream. Take care.
All right. Send us out.
Got 12 wallets, but Solana ain't one. Cardano's my main, where the real gains come from. Stacking that ADA, I'm ahead of the pack. Crypto king moves, yeah, I'm never looking back. Started with a vision, now I'm deep in the game. Cardano's my fortress, ADA's my flame. Solana's out there, but I'm not impressed. Smart contracts on Cardano, I'm truly blessed. 12 wallets loaded, yeah, I'm diversified. Crypto life's a hustle and I'm fully energized. Wallet chase a hype, I'm staking my way. Cardano's the truth, I'm here to stay. Yeah, got 12 wallets, but Solana ain't one. high speed, but it trips and it falls. Cardano's my rock, answering all my calls. Wallets on wallets, but I'm picky with chains. Solana's uninvited, I'm dodging the flames. Ate in my veins, I'm a blockchain believer. Building my empire, no room for a fever. Steady with the gains, watch my profits ignite. Cardano's my vision, I'm owning the night. Yeah. So if you're on